Alright dudes, and welcome back to the Netherrealm. I am your guide today, Hazing, and I am going to be talking to you about something that I absolutely love, and that is the mainline Disgaea series. Before we jump in and talk about that, the support I've been receiving on the channel is overwhelming, but if you could continue to provide that support, smash that like button, hit subscribe. We're going to talk about something a bit different today, and that is Disgaea. Basic Disgaea, not Disgaea RPG. Now, the reason I'm talking about Disgaea is because during my live streams, one of the most common questions I get asked is, oh, what's Disgaea like? Should I play Disgaea? Is it any good? So I'm going to start off by talking about my favourite game in the franchise, and that is the first game. Okay. Now, to those unfamiliar with Disgaea, it's a turn-based tactical RPG that plays much like games along the lines of Final Fantasy Tactics. Okay, basically what happens is when you enter the field of play, you are in a kind of grid-based, gameplay field, and what happens is you have to dictate where your characters can move within that grid. They all have a different range that they can move within, and much like Disgaea RPG, it's dictated by speed. Whereas in Disgaea RPG, speed dictates where you will take your turn. In Disgaea a traditional, what will happen is you can move further on the field of play if you have a higher speed. So again, a bit of a parallel to Disgaea RPG there. You want to work on your speed so that you can maximise how far your characters can travel and what you can do. Gameplay and animations plays out a lot like Disgaea RPG, however, with you grinding to hit massive numbers to see all these fancy super attacks and team up attacks that your characters can do. The first game in the series focuses on the story of Laharo. Laharo is the son of the ruler of the Netherrealm, and he wakes up after a long slumber by his vassal Etna, who is questionably trying to wake him up. We'll just leave it at that because I don't want to give any spoilers for the story. And Laharo wakes up to find his father gone, and he decides he wants to become the ruler of the Netherrealm. The story takes place, and it ends up basically transforming into a bit of a battle between heaven and hell, but we won't go into details because the story is what makes the game so enjoyable. Much like Disgaea RPG, there's lots of zany moments, there's lots of hilarity, and it really does share a lot of tropes with your traditional anime. And anyone who is a fan of anime, I feel, would get a lot from this game, as it's funny, it has a really good story, and sometimes it's got quite a deep emotional story, but it's always layered with a good slice of humour. All the characters are likeable. You're going to pick multiple characters from this cast that you are actually probably going to fall in love with going forward. For me, it's Laharo. I absolutely love Laharo. I think he's a great character, and he has a little bit of a trope that continues throughout all the Disgaea games that I will not spoil, but the story here is absolutely fantastic. Now, a lot of the things that you do in Disgaea RPG, you will find them in the traditional Disgaea games. They're just presented a little bit differently. Things like the Dark Assembly. The Dark Assembly exists in this game. You still have to pass bills and things like that. The only difference is, with this one, if your bill doesn't pass, you can absolutely murder the senators. And what happens there is you brute force through your bills, okay? So if you want to do things like reincarnation and stuff like that, you pass a bill and bang, it doesn't pass, kill them. That's it. Power level your characters and kill them. So no bribes here, guys. You actually go in and you kill the senators to get things passed through Congress, so to speak. Let's not say what would happen in the real world if that happened. We'll stay away from that topic altogether. But anyway, guys, so Disgaea RPG is a really great game, and a lot of people are turning their focus to the original games, and I think this is a really good place to start. You can pick up Disgaea 1 on many different platforms. It's available on Steam, but not the complete edition. You can pick it up on Nintendo Switch, you can pick it up on PlayStation, and you can actually pick it up on your smartphone. Here's a tip, guys. If you pick it up on your smartphone, it actually plays better than it does on the Nintendo Switch. So if you're someone who has a fancy game controller, you might find it better to pick this up on your smartphone, because like normal Disgaea, the one that we're playing, Disgaea RPG, you can speed up animations, okay? And you need to speed up animations to get through the challenges that lie ahead, because you're going to run the same levels over and over and over again. Sound familiar? Yes, you're doing that right now in Disgaea RPG. You do that in the mainline Disgaea game, but on mobile you can turn the speed up a lot higher than it goes on the Nintendo Switch. So you will find that your grind time is dropping quite a lot simply because you can speed up the animations so much. Now, another thing that the Disgaea RPG game got from the mainline Disgaea game is the item world. The item world is one thing that actually works a lot differently in the mainline Disgaea game, okay? Now, just like Disgaea RPG, you do need to travel through the item world to get your gear stronger, okay? And you can also get better gear from the item world. But the way you do that is you use thieves and you can steal the items from other characters. So rather than them dropping, if you face a boss who's got a really good weapon, you can try and steal it from them, okay? So instead of it dropping, you're trying to steal it. But again, the strategy there is fairly similar. We use thieves to improve our chances of actually doing that, okay? But the one thing that really differs in the item world is the challenges that it presents. You see, Disgaea has a thing called geoblocks, and it has geo panels. Those panels are something that can basically put status effects in place. Stuff like invincibility, stuff like no lift, and you can't move characters and it can make your life very difficult. There's also damage modifiers and damage boosts, and they really mix up the type of gameplay that you experience. So you may enter some floors in Disgaea's item world and the plan is you run and you try and get through it. Just get through it, get to the next floor and move on. The other thing that differs about the item world in the standard Disgaea game is if you die, you're done. You're out, you're kicked out that level, and your progress is lost, okay? So you actually get an item that's called a Mr. Jensi's Exit, and what happens with that is if you're scared and you need to run away, you can use that and you can get out the item, and then you can continue your progress. You can also reach specific floors. They're usually about 20, 40, 60, 80. You can reach different floors, you can save your progress, and you can exit the item and go back in. Saving in Disgaea is vital because if you die, that's it, you die. You go back to your last save state. So saving constantly in this game is something that becomes really vital, and you'll find yourself loading and reloading game saves quite a lot. But again, it's something that players who like the game enjoy. You know, the grind is part of the fun. So guys, if you are new to the Disgaea franchise and you want to delve into it more, you want to experience more of what it has to offer, I wholeheartedly agree that you should play the Disgaea game. I fully recommend it, and I think a really good place to start is Disgaea 1 Complete. For the reasons I've said, you don't have a barrier for entry, you can pretty much play it on anything these days, including emulation if you really want to, but go for it. Pick up Disgaea 1 Complete, give it a go, and fall in love with this franchise even more because it's absolutely fantastic and it's very, very rewarding. Anyway guys, I've been Hazing. This is just a little bit different today. I get asked this quite a lot in my chat. I just wanted to give you a bit of an overview about the game, and I hope you enjoyed the video. I'll catch you later, dudes. Bye.